Hi, welcome to Modern Wall Street's Trader Talk. Stocks just turned mixed. What's the deal? We have Peter Tuchman here from QMS to hopefully figure out what is going on. The stocks just got slammed. What happened?
I don't think they're mixed. I think they're down. You know what? I don't really know. Look, this market normally is headline driven, and it reacts to headlines sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. And it seems like the market is in turmoil. The world's in turmoil, and the market's not. But here today, we had oil inventory numbers come out at 10:30. They were down, oil and gas. Oil rallied. Oil's been under huge pressure. Okay, I don't really know why. I mean, it's been a sell-off. It broke a lot of support levels at 44, 43, 42, actually. It bounced off that level. This morning, last week when we spoke, oil inventories were up, right? And we saw the market sell off, remember? Just as we spoke around 11 o'clock. Today, the reverse of that happened, but this is after a week where oil's been getting decimated. So today, inventories were down. Oil rallied about 30, 40 cents. It took the S&P up. It took the Dow up a little bit. The Dow's sort of been muted lately by the NASDAQ tech, And then over the last 2 minutes since we just began, market sold off hard. The Dow just went down about 50 points. Oil reversed. I'm not clear what's really going on. There's so much going on, but what is the market engaging? It's always the question.
True, and a lot of traders have been taking a look at oil because of the volatility. They're trying to make a few bucks on that. So where would you say would be a good entry point, whether it's oil or anywhere in the market right now?
So the market, oil's down big time. It feels like it's sort of bouncing off the 42.5, 43 level. We're down from 52 to 42. That's a huge move, right? There was a big shakeup in Saudi Arabia this morning, apparently, right? The Crown Prince pulled his nephew, who was the heir apparent to Saudi Arabia and the oil companies, and put his son installed his son in there. I don't know how much effect that really has on it. Aramco apparently going public soon. That may be having something to do with it. But oil's broken every different level. Market is still at 21,450. We're at all-time highs. The tech sell-off that we saw happen last week is also being a little bit muted. Those things are stabilizing a little bit. Where's the entry point in oil? Where's the entry point in the market? Market's up here. Do we still buy into it? I don't know. Is oil down? Do we buy it into here? I mean, it can go lower, but I think 42 may be a level, 43.
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned Aramco because I'd like to touch on some global affairs. Last night we found out that the MSCI is adding 222 Chinese A shares to the emerging market index, which I know you closely watch. So what does that say about the Chinese role in the global economy?
So I, this morning, started trying to understand what that all means, right? We trade the MSCI here. Okay, I didn't know that much about the Chinese markets, but Chinese A shares, so you've got two different markets there, right? You've got Hong Kong and China A, right? And because of the way the deregulation or lack of regulation within the Chinese market, that there have not been added basically in some of our indexes. And so this is a bold move on the side of the MSCI. It's really sort of, when I was speaking to a number of people out here to understand it better, so it's really sort of offering up a little bit of a peace leaf to the Chinese and saying, look, we're not thrilled with the way that you treat your marketplace, and that's why you haven't been that big a part of our indexes. So we're willing to give a little if you give a little bit. So we're going to let you add, we're going to add a number of 24% or something of your stocks into our index in exchange for you falling into our category of what seems legal, what seems regulated within our indexes in our marketplace. So it's a little bit of an olive leaf for them to bring them into our global market. It also adds the possibility for Americans to get some exposure to the Chinese markets. Something I didn't understand, that may be not a great explanation of it, but I think there are two sides to it. Adding exposure for Americans to be involved in the Chinese market and to get China more on board with what we do and maybe make this into a bigger global picture.
Awesome. Well, speaking of indexes, or indices as I should say, we have a Russell rebalance this Friday. What should we expect?
You know what we saw last week? We had the S&P. We talked about it. It was huge, 1.4 billion shares traded. There was not much direction of the market. There were a lot of things. There was a gold rebalance. There was the S&P. There was an Alerian. And net at the end of the day, the market didn't move. So what we saw was huge markets at all-time highs. So all we ended up seeing normally when we're at a peak or we're at a valley coming into these rebalances, you see either a sell-off or you see a bit of a build-up coming into it, right? A markup, as you were. I don't like the terminology. So, but the market being at all-time highs right now, Friday, there was just a lot of stocks changing hands. The Russell index is a bigger index than the S&P. I've seen the list. The numbers are huge. I'm hoping for some direction. We've got 2 days left to see what's going on. This market is starting to churn up. We've had a few days of sort of flatlining, starting to see a little volatility today. I'm not sure what Friday will be, but it will be exciting no matter what.
Well, we will make sure not to miss out on that. Peter, always nice to have you on Wednesdays. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is the Vaz on location reporting live from the New York Stock Exchange.